Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ren Hu. I'm in California, San Jose, California, and this is my house here. Um, I'm making this video because I kind of want to talk you through the word journey assessment procedure, and also I want to share with you um, my experience of doing this assessment with Danny and Ellie, my children. Danny is 8 in third grade now, and Ellie is 5, is in kindergarten. But when I did the assessment with them that's in the summer, so they were not at the school yet. Okay, okay. First, um, in the assessment folder, assignment folder, I think I have a document and is the preliminary plan document. And there I listed all the steps and procedures. And I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay, the first part is you do the initial screening inventory to the whole class. And in my case, since I don't have a whole class right now, and I did it with my children. Okay, let me show you the result. Um, this is the Danny's part and Ellie's part. Okay, this is regardless of their level. Okay, and I do this even though see Ellie is only 5. I still do this with her. Okay, so this is the the screening inventory, and I think in our book, page which page? Okay, page 55, that really talks about how you do it. Okay, consideration, things you need to consider. And for example, one important thing on page 55 is like begin by dictating the first set of 5 words. Continue dictating succeeding set as long as the students are able to spell at least 2 of the word. Okay, so as long as they can spell at least 2, you continue with the next 5, but otherwise you can stop. Okay, so I did this with Danny, and as you can see, the first 5 he did it right, the second 5 missed 1, and then come to the third 5 became really challenging, and that's where I stopped. Okay, and then I analyzed the get the score, and he scored a 9. And so on page 56, 9 is within word. Okay, so that's only me with Danny, but in your case, you did it with your whole class, and then you need to calculate each student's score and see their predicted stage or stages. Sometimes the student may be in 2 stage, that's okay. And then what you need to do next is you need to make a decision on which group of this student you want to work with more closely. For example, you have 3 students in the letter naming, 11 students in the within word, and maybe some student in the syllable juncture stage. Then make a decision. I want you to really select a group that has more than 6, because this is the first time you select the group. But later, when you did the feature inventory, you have to group again. So it's like another group within this big group. So that's why this group cannot be very small. Okay. And okay, then I find out Danny is in the within word stage. And so what I did next, according to page 59 in our textbook, I decided to go with the comprehensive assessment option, which is to administer more than one feature inventory. And across days, of course, that's the key. But actually, I did not do that part very well, because Danny was excited and he just wanted to keep going. And we were in the summer day, has really nothing to do, and he got excited. So I was like, okay. But when you do it with your student, remember to across do it across days. Maybe tomorrow you do one, the next day do another one, rather than do 2 or 3 in one day. So with Danny's case, and also, when you select when you do the feature list, it is really important not to, right? We know it's important not to frustrate student at the beginning. So sometimes it's better for you to do a, feature maybe a little bit easier for your students. So with my case, I want to try. Danny is in the within word pattern, but I want to start easy. So I did the letter naming first. And of course, our textbooks have the feature list provided, Form A or Form B, the DSA feature inventory. And really, doesn't matter. You can use either A or B. And remember, when you use A the first time, right now, maybe at the very end of the instruction, you can use B, okay? If you use B the first time, and at the very end of your instruction, you can use A, okay? And so with Danny, I did the, this one first, is the, no, yeah, letter naming, yeah, letter naming stage, answer sheet, Form A. And we did it on July 10th. And obviously, as you can see, he spelled everything correctly. So, 25 points. That's too easy. And the points, where is the points? The points is really on page 64 in our textbook. It tells you here. Okay? I want to talk a little bit about this form in case you're confused, at the beginning, okay? You see this little letter, actually it's all in the textbook, okay? See there's a little letter here, D, B, C, A, C. That's the feature, okay? That's the, really the feature. Like here, the feature A, feature B, feature C, D, E. There's 25 words in each sheet, and then 5 represent each feature. And also how you get, and not in this, but since this is all correct, I'll show you the next I did. The next, because that letter naming was so easy for him, so I go ahead and did this within Word. And you can see I wrote this number here. What is that? That is in page, let's see, page 60, scoring, okay? Note that these are not point. 2 is not 2 point. It is a label. Read there. 2 represent entire word is correctly spelled. And then 1 means targeted feature is correct, but the entire word is not. And what is the target feature? And you can really get that from the form. For example, this within Word page on page 87. For example, this is the within Word pattern answer card, and this, for example, the first word is patch, and this TCH is the key feature. And of course, if the TCH is correct, then you put 2. And the whole word is right, then you put 2. But if only the TCH is right, but PA is not, the student spelled something else, then that's 1. That's label 1. So remember that, because if you consider this, the score, the label here as score, as my first time when I did it, I was like, oh gosh, the student scored so high. But then the textbook said the score cannot be over 25. I was confused. And then when I go back to read it, I finally got it. So that's label. But anyway, you did it. I did this within Word. And Danny, of course, after that, I kind of match with the feature and get the label, and then calculated the score here. Like for feature F and G, of course, he spelled all those words correctly. And then feature H, he scored a 4 word was correct and 1 was wrong. And I and 3 and J 4. And that tells me that the I, feature I, which is the complex consonant, and is really the area that I need to work with him. Okay? But the thing is, sometimes, under the comprehensive assessment option, I really want to find out, is this really true? Okay, so what I did is, I want to give him a little bit challenge, because his score is pretty good. Actually, it's 21. And if you read that 12 to 21 is the stage of development. But because his score is pretty much towards the high end, I really want to see what he will do with the next, the more challenging feature, like the syllable juncture stage. So then the next day, I did this, July 11. So I did the syllable juncture stage spelling. Still, I used Form A. I used all Form A. And the result, as you can see, first 5. Okay, the first 5, he still got 2 right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, actually got 3 right. So I went on to the next one, but it's getting more and more challenging. So I stopped. And then he scored a 9, which means too much is unknown. This is a little bit too challenging for him. And so that's pretty much, that's this feature inventory. And with your case, after this, since you have a group of students, you did this, then you will need to put the result into this class record sheet. I only have 1 student, which is Danny. And then I really want you, see the 3 here? Actually, you know what? I should bold. Well, no, it doesn't matter, because this SJ stage is really a little bit too, it's like too much is unknown, right? Too advanced. So that shows, the score shows me is really, this is not appropriate. So my instruction should focus on the WW stage, within Word stage. And see, I think in the direction I said, you need to bold, for the feature that the student missed at 2 or more. So I used a red marker, to do this 3. Then the next step would be, I need to go ahead and write my analysis result, provide a little explanation and or conclusion to tell what I need to work on. And the 2 examples provided by our textbook, Chris and Tracy, it's really a great one for you to follow. The narratives, read those. It's really good. Here. And, I also want to share with you something else. Since Danny really, need to work on feature I, which is complex consonant, right? So now I need to go ahead and decide on the lesson, right? What kind of lesson, what I'm going to teach him. And I want to share with you this book. I have this book, but this is the electronic book that you all have access. the link is on Blackboard. So for example, I know Danny need to work on feature I. Then, I can go to this book. This provide a great resource. First, I go to the table of contents. And see, I go to table of content. See here, tell you the word sorts for all the different feature, like feature I, page 269. Okay, so I go to page 269, and I can see all the resources here, like sort 40, which focused on final k sound, 41, 42, and keep going. If you keep going, you're going to see the actual word sort sheets, and you can copy and use. This is just an additional resource for you if you need this, to tutor, to work with your students. And actually, that is also why we decided to adopt this book for a try this year. Work their way. Maybe you are very familiar with that. I'm more familiar with Work Their Way than Work Journey. But the thing is, in order to access the PT Toolkit, we experienced so much trouble last time. So that's how we decided that we're going to try this book. And, you and I, we're just doing this experiment this semester. So that's my experience with Danny. And with Danny, it's actually pretty accurate. But my experience with Ellie shows something really different. And it's make me really question about the reliability of this assessment. So I'm saying this, I just want to bring this to your attention. Sometimes you do this assessment, but you really cannot depend on it totally. If you are the teacher and you really know the students, like when you do the assessment, it kind of provides you some data, but you know your student, trust you feeling, okay? Maybe the student didn't do very well on one thing, but then you know that, he or she can do much better than that, okay? Which is really my case with Ellie. I want to show you. Find Ellie's worksheet. Okay. Well, I did Ellie on the same day as I did Danny. I said, Ellie, come here for a try. I know this is some interesting activities, and she got so excited. And we started. And unfortunately, for the first 5 words, she misspelled everything. So then it made me realize, okay, so this is too hard for her. So she's not even at the letter naming stage yet. Then she's really, based on this result, it tells me Ellie is in the emergent level. But because I really know my daughter, so I started to question. I don't feel this is very reliable, because even though Ellie has not even started a kindergarten yet, but she was in a Montessori preschool in Greenville, a great school, and the teacher has already taught her kindergarten stuff. And when she graduated from there over the summer, the teacher gave me a report card, said Ellie finished the kindergarten with everything outstanding. So I know, and also at home she reads. So I really know, I know she's not at the emergent level. She is letter naming. Then, because I started to question, so I decided actually, okay, I'm going to try the emergent level stuff. This is actually what I'm going to tell for those students, if you want to work with the emergent level students. The Word Journey book probably cannot help you very much. It doesn't really have a lot of information about the emergent level. So you really need to read this book. Okay, the electronic book. The link is on Blackboard. This has the information about emergent level stuff. So what I did is I find out some worksheet, like at the emergent level worksheet. Emergent level, let me see which page is that. Okay, it's part 2, word study for emergent learners, and page 30. Yeah. So like all those worksheets. Okay. So I tried two sheets working with Ellie, and she did everything correctly. So I know, oh gosh, she's really not at the emergent level. She's better than that. So what I decided is I'm going to wait. So I waited like 10 days, actually 13 days. The date is July 20th. So I waited 2 weeks, and I kind of did this assessment, the initial screening assessment with her again. And this time, I think it's more accurate. It's the same words. See? It's the same words. And this time, hen, wish, I think what's that word? Clap, I forgot, but I did that. And it's like she has 3 correct, but then the later would be hard. So she has 3 correct, but the next 5 she is nothing right? It's a 0. And so that shows me she is really in the letter naming stage, right? In order to make my test result a little bit more reliable, I really tried another assessment, which is in our book. What page? I forgot. It's the KID, KIDS, kids. I think it's on the I forgot which page, but it's somewhere here. Oops. But anyway, it's here. Sorry, takes me. Come on. I know it's somewhere because I made is this form. Okay, it's the KID answer sheet. This one. And so, oh yeah, right here, 101. Okay, so it kind of tell you 101 and then 103. The words, and also how you score those words. Like what kind of spelling? Of course, completely right, it would be 6. And what kind of spelling would give 5 points, 4 points, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. And so I did this with Ellie. Just I want to make sure that she's really in the letter naming stage. And the first time when I did it, she scored. See, all the 5 is correct, and so she got 30. And I also tried, and I did this earlier. And then I tried it another time. I tried it again because there's 2 set of words. There's Form A and Form B in our book. Form A, Form B. And so I did it again. Yeah, and this time actually it's the same form. I'm sorry, I just didn't make a copy. It's not easy right now since I'm in California. And so I was like, okay, it's not that much trouble. I'll just let her use this paper to do it. It's the same. It's the same, okay? And with the second time, she missed one feature here in the third word. The third word is rug, and she spelled R-A-G. And but according to the direction here mentioning 103, that gave her a 5 point. So she scored a 29 out of 30, and which is still pretty good. And okay, so I'm sure now she's in the letter naming stage. And what I did was just like what I did with Danny, and I started with the letter naming feature, Form A. And the result was I was really surprised by the result. By the way, this is I should make a copy, but I just do not have easy access with copy machine these days. So I used the paper, okay? And this is just the form, okay? So I did this. And look at her spelling. The first 5 words she got, she spelled all correct with the first 5. And the second 5, she spelled 1, 2. She still 2 words right. And then the number 8, she missed a feature there, but she still can, based on the direction, I can put a 1 label because it seems the key feature, she got it right. And then the next 5 words, she got 3 correct, and then the fourth 5 words, she got 3 words correct. And then the last 5 words, she got 1, 2, 3. She got 3 correct. I was really surprised at this because she has not even started kindergarten yet. And this definitely shows that she is not in the emergent level. So that made me feel like, if you have some students just like that, do another assessment, okay? And then this one, feature A, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3. So that shows me I need to work with her on feature D and feature E. And of course, I need to put this data, transfer this data to the class record sheet. And so basically, that's my experience of working with Danny and Ellie. And let me see the direction here. So after you put the information on the class record sheet, then you preliminary plan. Then you make, of course, you design, you make a plan, and tell me about, your students, the procedure, and you tell me about the instruction you want to provide. So the plan should include A, B, C, D, E, F, G that I mentioned in the direction document. Introductory overview feature to be taught, specific letter spellings you will begin with, and your rationale. So basically, I'll be checking on each. And basically, that's about it. That's about the assignment. And seems complicated, but actually when you start doing it, it is not really, and it's actually fun. So let me know if you have any questions, okay? That's pretty much it. Okay, bye.